Hey gang, this morning I'm heading into Epcot. I hear there is some food and wine signage up already, so I want to see if I can find that and also see what Test Track looks like and maybe hit a ride or two. Let's get going. Coming into the park on this side almost feels a little 1980s-ish Epcot. Light on the landscaping, but clean. Spaceship Earth in the background. Very nice. The cast member over in the center started waving us over this way, and lo and behold, a few empty gates here. No waiting in those lines because these gates are open. But I'm gonna head over here. So way back in the day, like the 80s and 90s, if you wanted to make a dining reservation a day of, over here by guest relations, there used to be a wall of like TVs or monitors. It was called the World Key System, and you would talk to a cast member through the TV. Very futuristic, and they would make the reservation for you after checking, of course, to see what's available. But now we all have phones, so no need for that.
No Test Track vehicles running today. It officially opens to guests on July 22nd, and cast member previews just started a few days ago, so we are not too far off. We've heard some good things from the media previews for Test Track, so it sounds really exciting. And then over by Mexico, we've got this wall by the meet and greet area, so I guess they're redoing that as well. Speaking of Mexico, let's take a look inside. There's been some internet rumors that the Food and Wine Festival booths are getting some signage, so I walked around the park to check them out. Well, it looks like the rumors are false. There is no signage up just yet. We'll keep an eye on that. But it is time for a snack, so I headed to the refreshment port for some traditional poutine for $7.50, and this is traditional. Crispy fries, beef gravy, and a ton of squeaky cheese. Highly recommended. You know, the new Epcot is a lot of fun. I'm still a fan of the old Epcot, and going into the Land Pavilion just kind of gives me, just for a second, the feeling I'm back in the 80s. And of course, Living with the Land brings me back to Listen to the Land, the original.
Beneath the surface of the land, roots trap water from the flowing mud, extracting precious nutrients and minerals. These elements living systems of our planet. One of those living systems is the rainforest, home to the most amazing concentration of life on our planet. These dense and beautiful forests cover only a tiny portion of the Earth's surface, but they contain more than half of its plant and animal species. Rainforests are also extremely rich and productive living systems, providing us with oxygen, food, medicines, and other elements essential to our lives. Of all the forces at work on the land, humans have had one of the most profound effects. The need to produce food for a growing world led to the enormous use and sometimes overuse of the land. Today, we're learning to live with the land, discovering better ways to grow food that will assure both human and environmental well-being.
food on desert seacoasts by developing and planting crops that thrive on saltwater.
To help us maintain these carefully controlled ecosystems, and for your safety, please remain seated in your boat at all times. The tropics are home to the greatest diversity of plants on the planet. Many of these, like papaya, bananas, cacao, coffee, and rice, are well known around the world. Many are rich in vitamins and minerals, while others are well adapted to growing in less than ideal conditions. The sustainable system we're using here recycles the water in the tanks. As a result, we're able to save millions of gallons each year. By growing these ground plants vertically, we can increase yields and better control diseases. These crops taste as good as they look. In fact, we serve more than 15 tons of produce from our greenhouses in restaurants here at the land every year. The future of agriculture may include innovative ideas like this vertical growing system. Plants grown in this way use a fraction of the space required by traditional growing methods. That saves water and increases production. In our lab, Epcot scientists are working with the U.S. Department of Agriculture on a number of innovative projects. The goal of these efforts is to produce higher yielding and better quality plants. These greenhouses represent just a fraction of the work being done worldwide to produce bountiful harvests for our growing population. Scientists, farmers, and even backyard gardeners are doing their part to improve the quantity and quality of foods that we all rely upon. Together, we can continue to find more ways to increase food production and protect our precious natural environment. Only then will we truly be living with the land.
Well, that was a fun but definitely hot day, but I can confirm that there is no signage for food and wine just yet. Now I got to get out of here before I melt. Thanks for coming along, guys.